Do you ever feel like your closet is full, but you have nothing that you want to wear, whether it be for heading into school or a day at home with the kids? Sometimes it's really hard to put together an outfit. I'm with you. You're going to love today's episode with Corina Holden from Frump Fighters. She is sharing her step-by-step framework to help revamp your wardrobe, feel more put together, and save time and money in the process. Whether you're struggling to find the perfect outfit or just need a little wardrobe clarity, Corina's tips are going to make it so much easier. So get ready to refresh your style and make getting dressed a breeze. Welcome to Educate and Rejuvenate, the podcast to help you revitalize your teaching, renew your spirit, and reignite your passion for life. I'm your host, Kelsey Sorensen, a former teacher, current homeschool mom, published author, and certified life coach. Whether you are a teacher in a traditional classroom, homeschool from your kitchen table, or anywhere in between, I am on a mission to help you not only survive as an educator, but thrive. Get ready to uplevel your skills with incredible insights from guest experts and discover the missing piece, rejuvenating yourself. Are you ready to both educate and rejuvenate? Let's go. I'm so excited about this episode. As I mentioned at the beginning of our interview, I just happened to see Corina and I connected through a Facebook group about Facebook advertising. And some of you probably initially heard about us from a Facebook ad, right? So that's a big thing that we do. But I saw that she had an offer that was a free style guide. And she even had one that was targeted towards teachers. And I was like, okay, that is the coolest thing ever. Because you know me, I love thinking of us educators as whole people, right? Like, yeah, we need lesson plans. We need to figure out what we're going to teach our kids, but also we need to get dressed and ready in the morning. We want to look good and we want to feel good, right? So I just loved that. I love that she created that. And that is also what we're wanting to bring into our Educate and Rejuvenate events. And for this winter one, when I was talking with my team, some of us were like, it might be fun to do kind of like a look good, feel good category, especially because for our winter event, we're really focusing on the mid-year slump. We didn't want to overwhelm you with just tons of content because during your, like the winter break, coming back from winter break, you might not be like, oh, I just want to go through so much content about reading and math and science and social studies and all of that. We have some of it for sure, but you might also want like, how do I refresh myself? Like it's a new year. You might have goals where you want to maybe you want to get more healthy. Maybe you want to lose some weight. Maybe you want to revamp your style. And so we've got that for you too. So I'm thrilled that Corina agreed to be part of our Winter Educate and Rejuvenate event and to come on the podcast today. We are so thrilled to have her. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Corina and then we can dive into the episode. So Corina helps women optimize their existing wardrobe to make getting dressed fun and effortless, no fashion savvy required. With her easy to implement framework, she transforms the daily routine into a source of joy and confidence. Corina believes in the mood and productivity boost that comes from putting on real clothes, even to everyday life. And she's passionate about showing women how to uncover something cute and unique from their own closets. I just love it so much. And isn't it so fun that we're having these sessions at Winter Educate and Rejuvenate too? So make sure to go to educateandrejuvenate.com/conference and register for free. It's going to be a great time. Okay, let's get to the episode. Okay, Corina, I'm so excited to have you here on the show today, here on Educate and Rejuvenate, the podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kelsey. I'm excited to be here.
I've been thrilled to do this episode because it was actually, I don't know, a year or two ago that I saw that you were doing this awesome, it was like a style freebie that you had, but it was for teachers that they could, and really for any woman, but you had one like targeted to teachers that like, hey, go to your classroom in style or whatever. And I just thought that was so cool because I know so many teachers were so busy. We don't have the time to think about, oh, what are some new styles I could wear to school today? So I think that's just such a fun need to fill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you're talking about our outfit calendar, and
Yeah.
teachers love it. Yeah, because it gives you just a way to remix your clothes. And I love how a lot of teachers are really enjoy getting dressed for work. And so
Right.
I just found like they really resonated with that kind of a resource because it simplified something that they enjoy doing. It's a lot of fun to provide that to them.
Yes, and I'm so excited because actually today we're going to be talking about some of your framework that you do, like with,
Mhm.
mixing up your outfits and everything, your framework. And I actually am not super familiar with it. So I'm going to be learning right along with everybody who's listening or watching us today. So I'm really thrilled. But before we do that, I'd love for you to share a little bit about why you started Frump Fighters to begin with. And it started as a blog, right?
Yes, it did.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So what inspired you to create like that space for busy women like teachers?
Yeah. I'd love to share that. So now I'm a mom of 5 boys, but at the time when I started it, it was about 8 years ago. I was pregnant with my 2nd son, and I felt like I needed some kind of challenge to make some
Mhm.
money from home, and I heard about starting a blog was a good idea, and I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
I feel like I am just learning a lot about life right now, with being a single mom
Right.
and a lot it just I'm learning alongside other women in my stage of life. And so I thought, I think I would enjoy to start a blog that focuses on something that I struggle with and then finding a solution for it. And as I find that solution and make it easier for myself just to share that with other people. So that's where I came up with the idea of Front Fighters. And basically, at the time, I called it Now That I Can Do, because fashion was something where I enjoyed shopping, but I found like
Mhm.
putting together cute outfits or looking on trend really did not come naturally to me. And then since I had become a stay at home mom, there was is a little like the motivation wasn't there to get put together for the day too.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
really wanted to just demystify the whole thing and figure out like what are some basic essentials that every woman should have in her closet and what are some simple sort of ways that you can combine them and look put together and make the most of your closet and just feel confident for your day. So that's how it started. And yeah, I started coming up with a system and a framework that really anyone could apply, whether they felt like they're naturally fashion savvy or like me, it didn't come naturally, so that's where
Yeah.
it started.
And I love that you're sharing, like, hey, this is where it started. Like, I knew nothing about this. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it
Absolutely.
too. And I know a bunch of our listeners will relate to the whole like being a stay at home mom because we have some who like were a stay at home mom, went back to the classroom. We also have some homeschool moms in our community. And when you said that, I'm like, oh, I feel you. When you're home or you're working from home, we have some online teachers too. It's like, oh, getting put together,
It's hard to
you
be
know?
motivated, right? But,
Yeah.
what's really interesting is when we do get dressed for the day, how much more motivated we feel and just ready to tackle whatever comes our way, whether we're home or we're out in the
Yeah.
classroom. And so I really try to treat my role at home as a job, And
Right.
so I found like showing up for that job put together and feeling like I'm not embarrassed if someone comes to the door or I have to run out on an errand really helped overall with the rest of life. And so
Yeah.
it turned out that getting this sort of fashion and clothing category of my life more systematized and serving me really ended up serving other aspects of life. So it's kind of cool how that works out.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like I can tell the difference in just my energy and my vibe when I'm like, "Oh, I'm having a good hair day," or "I love this outfit,"
Totally.
or whatever. It's like the whole look good, feel good, right? And that's actually kind of one thing we're touching on at our winter event that we haven't done before that's going to be really fun. And so we're thrilled to have you as part of it too. So you have this comprehensive framework you've been talking about that you've created, starting from I don't know what I'm doing, and now you have
Mhm.
a framework where you can help other people do it, right?
That's right.
So can you give us a brief overview of the framework and what's so helpful about it and how they can go from maybe I don't know how to put together like an outfit, or maybe they're like, yeah, I kind of do, but I would love to level up a little bit wherever they're at. How can this help them?
Yeah. So, what I wanted to do with these steps that we call the Front Fighters framework now, is to help anyone start with what they already have in their closets, and really not until the after you're done with all 5 steps. There's like 5 steps that we cover. Not until you're done with all those steps do you really need to shop for more clothes. And I felt that that
Mhm.
was important because a lot of times we feel like, well, if I'm struggling to feel put together, I must need to go shop. But that's not necessarily true. It's actually, you'll end up spending money and not making the most of your investment if you do it that way because you don't have some other things in place first and clarity on your wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we start with is just helping women who feel like they don't have a whole lot of time. That's most of us, right? Have already a pre thought through checklist of essentials to have in your wardrobe. And so we provide that here at Frump Fighters, and we have a freebie for your listeners. They can grab that. If they just go to
Amazing.
nowthaticando.com/rejuvenate, they'll be able to grab that free checklist. And it basically just lists out for you what even goes into a well-rounded wardrobe. And it's not to go shopping with it. It's just to have it so you have a place to start from and you're not just
Mm-hmm.
guessing or shopping based on, what's on sale at Target. That's the first step, is start with a pre-planned checklist, or you're not having to figure it out yourself. There's just some basic essentials that we categorize things, for example, like a neutral t-shirt or a print blouse or dressy slacks, neutral slacks versus color. And then we categorize pieces like that. Step two is going to your wardrobe, and we help you to clean it out and just asking the simple question, which we'll go over a little bit later, to help you get your closet to a place where you walk in and you're not overwhelmed. You have clarity on like, what can I wear? And then
Yeah.
the next step is figuring out something really important with color and understanding your style. This provides clarity for moving forward for when you do make purchases in the future. You'll just be really clear on what kind of things you're looking for. And then the other important factor is once you've decluttered, you have clarity on the colors that you want to have in your wardrobe, your style. We'll talk about how to put outfits together easier. So, those are
Mm-hmm.
some of the aspects of the framework that can help you maximize what you have now and then gain clarity for moving forward.
I love these steps because even as you're like naming them, like, oh, okay, this sounds like way less overwhelming than feeling like I need to just, okay, I need to redo my style. I need to walk into a store and figure out what to get.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, there's a system to
Yeah,
it.
real clear cut
Yeah.
and like do this, then do that, and then by the end of these steps, you're gonna know what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe what you need to work on in your closet, what's in good shape. Yeah, it's very much about, we don't just leave you hanging.
Yeah, and I love that you have the freebie that they can grab because they might be listening or watching this, and they'll be like, "Oh, wait, like, what were those again?" or
Absolutely.
whatever, so I'm sure you have is that all on
It
there?
is, yes. We list all the steps and they
Perfect.
have videos attached and everything.
Amazing. Videos, look at that. You've got us all covered. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after this exciting announcement. Have you heard that our winter Educate and Rejuvenate event is coming right up? We are going to have so much fun. The live pre party begins on December 30th. And then we go into the new year with the pre recorded sessions hitting general admission on January 3rd. And January 7th through 9th, we have our comedy keynote. I'll be doing lots of teaching. We'll have speaker roundtables. We'll have a fun trivia, huge giveaway night. You're not going to want to miss it. But don't just take my word for it. Here is what Joanna had to say about attending past Educate and Rejuvenate events.
Absolutely 100% you need to attend this event. It is by far the most amazing thing I have done just to help refresh and, like the title says, rejuvenate some of the lessons that I feel like I've been doing, but I feel like I could do better. And as an educator, I'm always looking for ways to get better at my practice and get better at my teaching and the skills, and looking for all kinds of resources to keep kids super engaged and super excited about what they're learning about and apply it to real world situations that they're going to face. And I think it connects to them, and making those connections are super important. So I definitely feel that this is another community that I have access to. I feel like we need to build each other up and constantly look for those resources. And I love that Educate and Rejuvenate was providing those for you, has access to so many webinars, so many coaching sessions. It was amazing to be able to just jump on and look for something and find something. I will be coming and joining again next year, and I am now part of the club, and I'm super excited to continue to do so. throughout my years.
So, what are you waiting for? Join us at Winter Educate and Rejuvenate 24-25. It's completely free for general admission. Go to educateandrejuvenate.com/conference to register. What would be your top recommendation for somebody who's just getting started with this framework? Like, say they're square one.
Yeah. The first step is definitely to download that checklist so that you have a starting place, and just print that out and have it available. And then right on the first page of that checklist is going to walk you through the steps that we help you go like in the best order. So you're just doing things in the most streamlined way possible. And so just start with that. Print it out, and you're gonna already have a lot more clarity, and then you'll be able to walk through the other steps.
Amazing. So, in step 2, you also talked about picking out their best pieces. How do they know what their best pieces are in
Yes.
their wardrobe?
Yeah.
Is it just like, oh, what you like the most, or what's the most versatile? How do they know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in step one, we print out that checklist. Okay. So we're starting with a
Yeah.
plan. Step two, we are not necessarily using the checklist. You actually are going based off of the question. Is this like you take each piece out of your drawers or your closet? And I recommend when you start this, like maybe just say, I'm just going to go through my tops. It's
Mm.
not overwhelming. Like you have a place to start. And then you take each of them and you ask yourself, do I enjoy wearing this? Do I feel good in it? And could I wear it tomorrow? Meaning, if the weather was appropriate, right? It might not be the right season, but like,
Right.
would I wear it tomorrow? Would I be motivated to wear it? And I really find that it's important to just simplify it to that question, because the reality is you could ask a friend or you could see what an influencer is posting online, and that might give you a different answer to whether you should keep a certain item
Oh,
in your
yeah.
closet, but you're still not going to end up wearing it, right? Like you need to feel in your gut, like I like how this fits me. And so that's why we ask that question.
I think that real honesty with yourself with that is huge, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone through my closet and like, oh, well, I might want to wear this at some point. Or like, oh, but I bought it and it was like, $40 or whatever. I don't want to, I can't get rid of it, even though like I keep trying to wear it and I can't figure out how to
Yeah,
wear it and I'm never going to wear it.
right.
So
Exactly.
lately I've really been getting more like minimalist a little bit almost, where I'm like, if I'm not gonna wear it, it's not in my closet.
Right.
It's not taking up space anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could ask, oh, how much did I pay for this? That's just not a good question to ask, because if it's a piece that you paid a lot for and then you're keeping it in there out of guilt, it's like double not serving you, right?
Right.
So I like to think that we have like sort of a safe way to ease some pieces out of your closet. So if you had answered no to like, nope, I don't really enjoy wearing this, and yeah, I wouldn't put it on tomorrow if I had the choice to. You can do a couple of things with it. You can either remove it from your closet and donate, or consign it,
Mhm.
or you can just archive it and just put it in timeout, like put it in a different, either a different closet or a bin that's out of view, and do
Mm.
that for each of the pieces where you're like, it wasn't a total yes, but I'm not sure. You can also do this if you do like the piece, but it's not in the right size right now, right? That's just that
Oh,
archive
yeah.
space is sort of safe. So you can make a decision later. I definitely do that still. Like I will try to do this decluttering audit of my closet twice a year or so, like when the seasons are
Mhm.
changing and I have to bring in maybe more warm clothes or more cooler clothes for fall, winter. And I still use that concept of an archive a lot, because it's sometimes hard to make the decision and you don't want to regret it. And so, but you also don't want to keep it in your closet if it's not like an absolute 100% yes, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, now that you mention that, so what I find, I just have my sweaters in my closet like all year, even though during the summer I'm not wearing them.
mhm,
And so it might be nice to actually have that archive to be like, okay, I'm actually going to put these away. And then when fall rolls around, I'll get them out again and put away my spring summer wardrobe.
yeah.
So then it's like less space, less for you to go through.
Yeah, exactly. What I
Yeah.
recommend is like you're archiving the things that you're on the fence about whether you're going to keep them or whether you could wear them again in the future. If
Yeah.
you have some items that you're like, yes, I love this, but it's getting cooler and that's like a tank top and I'm not really going to wear that in the winter,
Right.
then I like to just put all of those really clearly off-season pieces just towards the back of my wardrobe, in the
Okay.
closet. Like just
Yeah.
find a corner that's out of the way or in a different closet. That way, you know that those are like, oh yeah, they're coming right back in when the weather's
Mhm.
appropriate, and you don't have to rethink through the question. And then
Yeah.
preserve the archive bin for the ones that you're like, not sure about. And I'd like to set a event on my Google Calendar to revisit those, let's say in 6 months, or you can do even in 3 months, quarterly, revisit that archive bin and ask the questions again. And you might have more clarity on like, oh, I didn't miss this at all. Or yeah,
Yeah.
actually this fits me now. Or, oh, I can see how this will actually work with the other things in my closet, whatever might have changed in those 3 months. So you can definitely revisit it. So yeah, so that is step two, is decluttering with that simple question, so that what you have left sort of visible in your drawers and your closet are the items that you feel good about and that you would totally wear and feel good in.
I love this so much. And the archive is just such a great way to ease yourself into getting rid of stuff. Cause I know a lot of teachers, especially, we tend to be a little bit of hoarders, and I say that in the most loving way possible, but we like, keep our paper towel rolls because what if I need this for a craft with my students? And so that tends to flood out into other areas of our lives too. And I see this in myself too, because I'm always a teacher at heart and like with homeschooling and all of that. It's taken time to be like, okay, yeah, I can actually get rid of something. Like it's okay.
Yeah,
So I love the archive. It's not permanent,
mhm,
right? Until
exactly.
you're really sure.
Yeah, and certainly there's going to be some clothes where you're like, I'm thinking right away from the teacher perspective. Maybe you need a couple of shirts for like casual Friday,
Hmm.
or like if you're doing a craft or a project at home, there's some things that aren't like, oh, I feel absolutely fabulous in this, but you still need some utilitarian clothing. You can just keep 1 to 2 sets. I like to keep for projects around the house. I take maybe some of those older clothes that I liked, but they're older and kind of just worn out now. I'll take maybe a pair of shorts and a t-shirt like that, and I reserve those for project days. So I don't get rid of it. I just use it for project, and then one for colder weather. And that's it. You really only
Hmm.
need, 1 set per season of older clothes. You don't have to hang on for it. Well, I might need this for, it's old, but I might need it for
Right.
later. Like, one will serve you just fine.
Yeah, one thing when decluttering comes up in our coaching that I like to mention is as educators, we're so resourceful. If we need to find something again, like if for some reason you're like, oh no, I got rid of that shirt and now I need a shirt like that, guess what? I totally trust in your ability to find a similar shirt and make sure that you have it. So, and usually when I ask teachers that, like, oh yeah, I totally could. It's just that like, scarcity a little bit. But when we kind of get into more that abundance mindset that, oh, if I need it, it'll find its way back into my closet,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, and usually there's always, if you don't wanna even hang on to any of your older clothes, when it comes time to do some work around the house and you just need something older, you'll probably find something in your closet that you wanted to get rid of anyways. You're right.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always gonna be that.
Right, because naturally every shirt in your closet is eventually going to become older and you've gotten something new you like better since then.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. So, and I know we're going to touch more on this in the segment for your Educate and Rejuvenate segment for the winter event. But a big part of your framework does involve creating a wardrobe color scheme, like
Yeah.
colors that work for you. So, why is this step so important? And how can teachers develop one that fits their own personal style?
Yeah, so I developed this step because I found that before I just thought that to create variety in my closet, I needed to have as many colors possible. And so when I try to decide what color to get a certain item in that was on sale or whatever, I just go like, well, I don't have any orange, so I'm going to get some orange, or I don't have any green. And so I just bring
Right.
that into my closet and be like, yay, I have a bunch of variety. But in reality, I hadn't really thought through, well, what colors go well together. I hadn't thought through what
Hmm.
colors look good on me. And so it was just a mismatch of clothes that really didn't work well together. So each thing that I bought didn't really get used to its fullest potential. So I think one of the key features of a wardrobe that's going to serve you really well is that the items do work one with another so that you can create lots of variety of outfits with fewer pieces. And so color is very important here. So yes, we're going to go more into detail with that. So for those watching the video, I have a quick visual that I'll just show what I mean by color palette for your wardrobe. So it's basically you're planning out some neutral colors and then some accent colors. And we can go really simple with it. We can go a little bit more in depth with it if you really know, like, maybe in your
Hmm.
color season. Those are things that we're going to go over in the other segment. But you basically want to find a color scheme that is really cohesive, of colors that look good on you, that flatter you, and it may not reflect perfectly what you have left in your closet after you've done the decluttering, and that is just fine. You don't want to
Mhm.
get rid of pieces just because, oh, it's not in my new color palette scheme. But
Right.
it's more that just moving forward, you have clarity when you need to add items to your closet. You know what color they should be in so that they work with everything else in your closet.
Oh, I love that so much because, yeah, like you mentioned, if you just have every random color, it's going to be a lot harder to coordinate an outfit than these colors that like things can go together better and they might just work better for you. I feel like I definitely have colors I feel more comfortable in than others, or like, a green makes my eyes pop or
Mhm.
whatever. It's nice to know those things. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that in our next
Yeah.
segment.
Yeah, we'll
So,
go into you can definitely have a all neutral color scheme, and that is for some people. The things I wanted to do with Front Fighters is I'll like find a way that you could have a efficient wardrobe, sort of a capsule wardrobe that mixes and matches, but have your color too. It's like, can you
yeah.
have efficiency but color too? And I think you can. And I think this
Hmm.
color scheme is what makes that possible. We do work from so the concept, maybe some people listening know what a capsule wardrobe is. Or not, you do. I mean, basically, a capsule wardrobe is usually defined as like a smaller set of pieces in your closet that are really well thought out and they mix and match. I actually love a lot of clothes. And so I work from that framework of like purposeful pieces, but I have a lot of variety within that, right? Like I have a
Yeah.
few different color tees and a few different fits of jeans and things like that. You technically only need one dark wash pair, one light wash pair, and you could go really minimalist or you could go lots of variety. And it works
Yeah.
as long as you have this framework of these are the pieces you need, that checklist from step one. And then
Hmm.
this is the color scheme that we're going to follow. And then it just explodes your outfit possibilities, right?
Yeah.
It makes it kind of like Clueless. Do you know that movie where she's just like,
Yeah.
"Well, find me an outfit." I mean, like, you can more easily just find so much variety from what you add, and it's not so much waste adding multiple sort
Right.
of copies of a piece because it's like, well, now it's just like giving me 10 times the amount of outfits. And so the other aspect of the color scheme I wanted to mention, because you said like, yeah, some of the colors will make my eyes pop and stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
Something we go into a little more in depth in the segment for the summit is going to be a seasonal color analysis. And so there's some simple ways for you to figure out like what colors do look good on me. A lot of people want to know that and don't really.
Hmm.
And so we
Yeah.
kind of break that down for you with a quiz and everything. And just that is really helpful for helping you come up with a color scheme that also flatters you.
I love it. And this leads us really right into like we're talking about having all these items and putting outfits together. So step 4 is to shop your closet. So what does that mean and how
Mhm.
can it actually help educators and parents to save money, time and money, which are the two things that we're always wanting more of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this is where it gets really exciting because the different steps have started to build on each other. And so step
Mhm.
1, you downloaded our checklist of items, and now and step 2, you decluttered. So you've got sort of if you think of your closet as your personal store, you've got just what's
Mhm.
left hanging there are just the items that, are your best pieces. And now you can take that checklist and shop your personal closet to see which of those items on the checklist you have. So, as an example, I'll just show a visual here for those watching the video of what the checklist looks like. We provide visual examples of each kind of item that we recommend that women have. Okay. We provide an example, but we also give a description of like what to look for. So, this one's, for example, a print tee. And so when you go to your closet, we also have a printable checklist, easy printable version that you're going to take this into your
I love
closet.
it.
You'll be flipping back and forth and you'll be like, okay. And so you look for a casual t shirt that's in a print. And if you have that, you check that off the list. And so you go through all your clothes trying to find matches basically for these essentials. And pretty much every item that you have in your closet is going to have a match on our checklist, especially our more expanded checklist if people want to upgrade to the very full list. There is going to be a match on it. Like we found a category for every kind of item
Yeah.
you could have, but you might not have everything on the checklist. And so there's going to be some items on that checklist that are going to remain unchecked. But the cool thing here is that now you have a shopping list. because those items are
Mhm.
now things that you can prioritize when you see a sale at Target or on Old Navy or something. If you're signed up for emails for your favorite store, when
Mhm.
there's a sale or Black Friday, you'll be able to shop for those specifically. You're going to know what color to get them in because, like, for each of these items, we say, okay, a print tee, you're going to be looking for colors that are in your either your neutral or your accent colors from that color scheme that you planned. And so you want to look for a print that has those colors because then we have other pieces on here. For example, a pair of color pants, like maybe olive pants might be what you go for. Well, if you have a
Mhm.
color scheme, you're going to be able to get those color pants and those print tee in colors that complement each other. So you'll be able to wear them together.
Yeah.
So it works really beautifully to give you clarity and then just to maximize everything that you buy at the store. So it takes a lot of that overwhelm off where you're like, I don't know what to buy, especially if you have kids with you and you're going in person to the store.
Right.
You're just like, yep, this, and this. I gotta try it on to make sure it fits me well. But I know what I'm looking for and I know what I don't need because I've already checked things off my list, right?
Yes, I love it. I love how it simplifies it so much because you go through, you see what you already have, and then you have that shopping list ready to go
Yeah.
for when you're looking at all the deals. I know a lot of people right now are going to be doing holiday shopping, but maybe as you're doing that, you'll find like, oh, and there's that thing I needed
I need to reach
in
this
my
like
in
minimum
my
cart. I'm
checklist.
just gonna put it in there. Right.
Right. I know how often is that? Like, yeah, I need for free shipping, right? We always want that free shipping. So
Yeah.
you can have those as things you could add on,
Yeah.
right?
And
Love it.
yeah, it helps you just grow the variety in your closet and just have a well-rounded wardrobe because it is natural for each of us to really shop for more of whatever it is we tend to love or feel most comfortable in.
Yeah.
So for me, that's print tops. Like, I don't know, I'm just so attracted to any kind of new top.
Another t-shirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so I tend to buy more of those and I do not need more. And so if instead I'm like, nope, I'm gonna look at my list and see where I'm at, then I can shop for, oh, there's this gap that I remember when I was putting this outfit together. I was like, I need this particular piece. And then you're reminded of that when you're shopping. So it makes a big difference.
I love this so much. It sounds like the most incredible resource for us to get started with revamping our wardrobes. I'm sure if anybody who's still watching or listening is like, yes, I want this, right? They wouldn't still be listening if they didn't. Where can they get this free
Yeah.
checklist that covers both the women's essentials and business pieces, which are also what you could wear in the classroom?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you go to nowthaticando.com/rejuvenate, you'll be able to grab that list. And so we have a list for women's essentials and a separate one for women's business. So I know our teachers, some of them need to dress up more business casual for their settings. So they may
Hmm.
need to refer to that list and both. But whether you do dress up more businessy for your setting, you definitely want to start with women's essentials because that's for when you're home. It's just the basic
Hmm.
foundation, and then you add the pieces in business casual, and they do overlap. Is the nice thing. Some of the pieces are on both
Awesome.
lists, so you can really,
And if they're
yeah. Go ahead.
And if they're on both, does it mean you need double or just like you got your double covered?
No, you're covered. You can get double. I like to get double of everything because
I
I like
mean, me
variety,
too.
right? Yeah, absolutely. No, you can just get one because it really works across outfits for both.
Amazing. All right. Anywhere else or anything else you would like to share with our listeners? Like, where should they follow you or any other resources you want to share?
Yes, and actually, Kelsey, I just realized we did not go over the last step, which is outfits, and people are probably like, "Well, how do I make outfits, though?"
Oh,
Let's do that.
right. We did it. Let's go back to
Yeah,
that.
let's go back to that.
I got so excited about your PDF,
I know.
your
Um,
freebie.
but here's the thing with having done these steps. I what's really cool is that now you've sort of started to think in categories with your clothes, and you're like, okay, that piece is neutral. It's a long sleeve neutral. It's a blouse or it's a casual tee or whatever. And so now what you can do is with your closet that's been refined to really your favorite pieces, we do have a product that creates all these outfits for you, but I want to give you a quick hack for how you can do this on your own. All you need to do is grab a sheet of paper, or if you're techie, you can do like Google Sheets or something, Excel,
Hmm.
and just write down one of your tops. Let's say that you're trying to come up with some business casual outfits for school. Take each of the items on that business casual list and write, for example, print blouse at the top. And then you're going to have a second column right next to that that's going to be all of your pants or skirts. and you're going to list those out, all the ones that go with that print blouse, for example. So your print bottoms probably won't work. Like if you have a print skirt, it might not work with that.
Mm-hmm.
But, so that's the only thing you
Right.
would admit, but everything else is there. And you just draw then a line down so that that print top applies to all your bottoms. And now you've got all these outfits that you can go systematically through to make sure that you're wearing your print blouse with all your different kinds of bottoms. Most of us are not. Most of us are wearing 10 to
Right.
15% of the variety that we have in our closets. So just repeat that for each of your tops. And if you are someone that likes wearing dresses, you can do that with dresses. And then you combine each dress, combine them with all of your what we call completer pieces or your layering pieces, like your cardigan,
Mm-hmm.
your jackets, you know, your denim jacket.
Yeah.
Do that instead of the pants on the second column. So that is creating a list of all these unique outfits that you can go through, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
just like go each
Yeah.
day, just shuffle through each of the different kinds of tops. And so we do that for you with our outfit calendar, but that's something that you can do on your own too. So that helps you just to really maximize how you use the clothes in your closet, and you're not having to think about it. You're just following sort of a
Yeah.
formula for this and this and this and this work. And the more that you shop for pieces within your color scheme, it's going to really expand how many of the pieces do work well together. So it's really, really a fun thing to see in the long run, too.
That's so exciting. And I love when you mention the color scheme too, because so often you even mentioned color pants earlier. And a lot of times it'd be like, oh, yeah, I got these cool color pants. So then I've got nothing to wear them with. So
Yeah,
if you are a lot more strategic with not just buying individual pieces, but buying things that go together,
absolutely.
and you do this method that you were just mentioning, you can uncover like so many fun combinations. It feels almost like paper dolls or something when we were little girls
Yeah.
putting together the different
This and
outfits.
this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so fun. Okay, so we talked about the freebie. Again, go to
Now,
now that I can do
yeah,
.com/rejuvenate.
that's
I've
right.
even figured that out. You should all
You're
go
right.
there. And where else should they go to follow you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook at Frump Fighters. So you'll find us there. And yeah, you can, once you sign up for this free checklist, you'll hear about the other resources we have available for free too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Karina, for your time. I know this is going to be so valuable for our teachers who are listening today. So thank you.
Well, thanks for letting me come on and just have a lot of fun talking about this subject. It's just really fun to help us figure out how to maximize our closet. So thanks for having me on, Kelsey.
Okay, if you are still listening, hopefully you already feel like you got so much out of that. I feel like I came out of that conversation like, oh, I'm so excited to look at my closet in a whole new way. So much fun. But we also hit record again for another 25 minutes to record a session completely about color analysis. And she actually did it with me right on the recording. So you can see her do some color analysis with me. You can hear about what color analysis is, how you can do it for yourself, and figure out what colors are going to look the best on you, and figure out what other outfits to arrange with it. It's just so cool. You're going to have to watch it. She explains it way better than I do. So it is free, again, when you join us at Winter Educate and Rejuvenate 2024. So go to educateandrejuvenate.com/conference to sign up. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be such a great time. But until then, make sure to check out any of the episodes that you missed on the podcast. Maybe your winter break is just starting. Last week, I interviewed Francini all about kids and accountability. We had our interview with Leslie Robb. She's a stand-up comedian teacher. She's also our keynote at the winter event. But again, while you're waiting for the event to start, you can start listening to these episodes. Also, if you're really wanting the event to just start right now, you're like, I really want to start diving in. If you upgrade to Platinum at checkout, you'll get immediate access to the event instead of waiting until January 3rd. So again, go register. It'll give you the option to upgrade if you would like, and then you can go ahead and start diving into the event. You can dive right in and listen to Karina's session part 2 without having to wait. So again, go to educaterejuvenate.conference to register for free or learn more about the Platinum upgrade. I cannot wait to see you there. And next week, I'll be here again on your podcast feed. We're going to be talking all about starting to reflect on 2024. Thank you for joining me on Educate and Rejuvenate, the podcast today. If you love what you heard in this episode, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're hungry for even more, be sure to check out the book that I wrote. It's called Educate and Rejuvenate, a 3-step guide to revitalize your teaching, renew your spirit, and reignite your passion for life. It takes everything you learn here on the podcast and that I teach our members inside the Educate and Rejuvenate Club into a guidebook you can refer to again and again. One of our early readers said it was like clarity for her brain. Plus, it's not only a book. With your purchase, you'll get a full PDF guide with exercises and links to videos and more so that you can not only consume but apply everything that you learn. If you're ready to make Educate and Rejuvenate not just a podcast you passively listen to, but a lifestyle that you put into action, it's time to grab your copy on Amazon today. Or head to educateandrejuvenate.com/book to read the first chapter and the introduction today.